latest updates, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon.
Chapter 5. Chapter 5 of the Customs Act deals with levy and exemption from customs duties. It's a very wide chapter and goes from section 12 to section 28 with a lot of subsections which have got added in the middle. Let us go over all the sections. Section 12 talks about dutiable goods. Section 13 talks on duty on pilfered goods. Section 14 talks about valuation of goods. 15 date of determination of rate of duty and tariff valuation of imported goods, that is what is the relevant date and what will be the rate of duty and the tariff valuation on what date is it to be considered vis-a-vis the bill of entry that has been filed. Section 16 talks about date of determination of rate of duty and tariff valuation on export goods. Section 17 talks about assessment of duty. 18 provisional assessment of duty. 19 determination of duty where goods consist of articles liable to different rates of duty. 20 reimportation of goods. Section 21 goods derelict, wrecked, etc. Section 22 abatement of duty on damaged or deteriorated goods. Section 23 remission of duty on lost, destroyed or abandoned goods. Section 24 power to make rules for denaturing and mutilation of goods. Section 25 power to grant exemption from duties. Section 26 refund of export duty in certain cases. Section 26A refund of import duty in certain cases. Section 27 claim for refund of duty. 27A interest on delayed refunds. Section 28 recovery of duties not levied or short levied or erroneously refunded. 28A power not to recover duties not levied or short levied as a result of general practice. Section 28AA interest on delayed payment of duty. Section 28B duties collected from the buyer to be deposited with the central government. 28BA provisional attachment to protect revenue in certain cases. So these are the various sections that we shall be covering in chapter 5, levy of and exemption from customs duties. Now let us go over each of the sections very briefly. Section 12, dutiable goods. Any goods that come into the country are to be levied to custom duties. What does section 12 say? Section 12 says that any goods which enter into the country shall be levied to duties as on the rates as specified under the Customs Tariff Act 1975, 51 of 1975 or any other law for the time being in force. The rates will be applicable on both import goods as well as export goods, and they will go as per whatever is written in the Customs Tariff of 1975 or any other law for the time being in force. So any goods imported into the country or export goods are chargeable to duty. They shall be charged as per the details given into the Customs Tariff Act 1975 or any other law for the time being in force. And that is why you have all the countervailing duties, the safeguard duties, the special duties, anti-dumping duties. They all fall at some level or the under section 12. So, section 12 further says that the rate of duty shall be identical irrespective of whether the goods which are imported or export are government goods or are for private enterprise. The rate of duty is applicable on the goods and not on the importer or the exporter. Section 13 talks about duty on pilfered goods. A very interesting fact of the Customs Act in India and levy of import duties is that duty is to be levied on consumption. which means that whatever is the material made available to the importer, only on that much material is duty to be levied. So what does section 13 and the other sections in this chapter say? Section 13 talks about duty on pilfered goods, where anywhere it is proved to the satisfaction of the custom officer and before out of charge that pilferage took place between unloading of the goods and before customs out of charge was given, if there is a pilferage, then no duty shall be levied on the goods that have been so pilfered. What does it mean? That you have an import consignment of say 25 bags. 25 bags are unloaded. You process the bill of entry, but when you go in for examination or delivery, either before payment of duty or after payment of duty, but before out of charge, and you notice that one bag has been pilfered, then the customs duty payable would be on 24 bags and not on 25 bags. If you have paid the duty, you make an application for refund of the duty. If you have not paid the duty, you make a request to reduce the assessable value in the bill of entry. Who will pay the duty on that one bag? We already saw in another relevant section of the Customs Act that the custodian is responsible for the safe custody of the goods which are deposited in his custody. So it will be the responsibility of the custodian to pay the duty on that one bag which has been pilfered. Section 14. Section 14 talks about valuation. Now, duty is to be charged as per the Customs Tariff Act of 1975. So, automatically over here a section comes up is that the value will be decided for what purposes? For the purposes of the Customs Tariff Act 1975 or for any other law for the time being in force, the value of the imported goods or export goods shall be the transaction value of such goods. What is transaction value? The price actually paid or payable on imported goods or on export goods at the place and time of delivery on import cycle and place and time of export on the export cycle, where the price is the sole consideration between the buyer and a seller. It further says that rules shall be made under section 14, valuation of goods, and those rules have already been made in 2007 is the latest version, which is to be covered separately in valuation of goods. What does it say? That cost and services including commissions and brokerage, engineering, design work, royalty and license fees, cost of transportation, insurance, loading, unloading, handling, etc., which have not been included in the price but have to be paid over and above the transaction value shall be included in the value. Here we come again to the assessable value for import purposes and export purposes. Assessable value on import cycle would be CIF plus 1%. On export cycle it shall be FOB. The rules have been specified and they talk about the relationship between the buyer and the seller. They talk about lot of other issues, and once we cover the rules for valuation, those clauses would automatically fall under section 14 on valuation of goods. Section 15 talks about the date for determination of rate of duty and tariff valuation of imported goods. Now, what is tariff valuation? That also comes under section 14. That is, from time to time the Customs Department, the CBEC, may declare a tariff value for certain classifications of or certain commodities, and all shipping bills and bill of entries for the purposes of levy of duty shall use tariff valuation. It means in those commodities the assessable value is not the basis of levy of duty, but tariff valuation is the basis of duty. What does section 15 say? Section 15 says that what is the relevant date to determine what was the rate of duty or what was the tariff valuation of the imported goods. Customs duty, as all of us know, are dynamic. Normally they change with every budget. In every budget, the finance minister decides what is going to be the rate of duty per classification in the customs tariff book. So if I have filed a bill of entry in February, the budget comes out on 28th of February, my manifest is filed on 1st of March, the final entry of the manifest. So that means a bill of entry is filed on a particular date, manifest is filed on another date, and the duty has changed in the middle. It can happen the other way around also. So what does section 15 say? That the date on which the bill of entry is filed for either home consumption or warehousing under section 46, or the date of final entry of the bill of entry, whichever is later, shall be taken as the relevant date for determination of rate of duty and tariff valuation of imported goods. Section 16 talks of date of determination of tariff value and rate of duty on export cycle. Here it talks about the date on which the out of charge is given by the customs officer. That would be the relevant date for determination of tariff valuation or the rate of duty. Section 17 talks about assessment of duty. An importer entering the goods under section 46 or an exporter entering the goods for export under section 15 shall self-assess the duty and levy the duty on his own. Now that we are in the self-assessment regime, all the clauses which are covered under section 17 are covered under self-assessment. So if one has understood self-assessment very clearly, scrutiny, verification, reassessment, all those clauses are very clearly covered under section 17 of the Customs Act, that is assessment of duty. Section 18. Section 18 talks of provisional assessment of duty. You may have a number of times that it is not possible for an importer to assess his consignments to the correct rate of duty. So section 18 gives it an option that somebody may apply to customs for a provisional assessment of duty. Another case is where the proper officer feels that he needs to chemically test the consignments, he needs to get a certificate from somebody, or he needs additional documents where it is not possible for him to finalize the assessment. In those type of cases, provisional assessment can be resorted to, and provisional assessment will always be given against a bond backed by suitable surety. Section 19. Section 19 talks about how would the duty get determined if the goods consist of articles which are chargeable to different rates of duty. That is, you have a set of items which are chargeable to different rates of duties, then how would you charge them? In case the value is 1, then whichever article within that is to be charged to duty with reference to quantity shall be chargeable to that duty. The second case can be where their articles are of different value but they have the same rate of duty, then they will be charged to that rate of duty. The third is where it is a set but some articles are chargeable to a higher rate of duty and some to a lower rate of duty, then the highest rate of duty will be chargeable. And the last section can be when there are some items in the set which are not chargeable to duty but the rest are chargeable to duty, then the entire set will be charged to the highest rate of duty. This is where separate values are not available to us and the duties are to be charged for a set. But since the set has different items, one may have to classify each item to ascertain the correct duty structure to be charged for that particular set. There is a rider to section 19 which says that in case there are accessories, spare parts or maintenance or repairing implements for any article which satisfies certain conditions, then they may be charged to the same rate of duty as the main item. Generally in customs, 10% of the value of the main machinery for spares is charged to the same rate of duty as the main machine. So that gets covered right here under section 19. Another portion of section 19 is that even within a set, if the importer can produce to the satisfaction of the proper officer different values of each item in a set, and the proper officer is satisfied due to the correctness of those separate values, then each item shall be charged to a different rate of duty as per their relevant classifications. So section 19 is a very interesting section where it tells you firstly that if you have a set and the set has a single value, if there is a single item in that set where the duty is on quantity, then the entire duty will go on quantity. If all those items fall under the same rate of duty, then the set would be charged to the same rate of duty. If those items fall under different rates of duty, then the highest rate of duty would apply. And wherever there are items in the set which are not chargeable to duty, then also the entire set would be charged to the highest rate of duty applicable to any one of the items in the set. Further, accessories, spare parts, maintenance or repair implements can be charged to the same rate of duty as the main item, subject to certain conditions. Lastly, in case of a set, if an importer is in a position to submit different values for the different items in the set to the satisfaction of the proper officer, then each item, despite being imported as a set, shall be charged to individual rates of duties dependent on their individual classifications. Then comes section 20. Section 20 uses the word reimportation of goods. Reimportation necessarily means that there was a prior export. But what does section 20 say? That even the reimported goods shall be chargeable to levy of duty under the same conditions had the same item been imported for the first time. So it means that if the goods are imported into India after exportation from India, such goods shall be liable to duty and be subjected to all the conditions and restrictions applicable to similar goods coming into the country for the first time. Then comes section 21. Section 21 talks of goods, derelict, wreck, etc. This is a case where the goods are damaged prior to being brought into the country. But what does section 21 say? That despite the fact that they were damaged, derelict, jetsam, floatsam, wreck, as long as they were brought into India, they would be dealt with exactly as they were imported into India, unless they are entitled to be duty free as per their classification. So the same rate of duty and the same valuation principles would apply. However, because the importer is receiving less material, he will take benefit of another section on abatement of duty and pay duty on a lesser amount, but the treatment of the act will remain the same irrespective of whether the goods are landed in sound condition or in damaged condition. The next section is section 22. Section 22 talks about abatement of duty on damaged or deteriorated goods. Here we can have 3-4 situations. One is import goods have been damaged or deteriorated before or during unloading in India. Secondly, they have been damaged or deteriorated not due to the willful act of the importer or his agent, but they have happened after unloading and before out of charge on a home consumption bill of entry. And the third is when they were lying in a bonded warehouse and some damage or deterioration has taken place to them, not due to the willful or known act of the importer or his employee or his agent. In all such cases, an abatement in the value of the goods to the extent of the damage is to be given on the bill of entry and duty shall be charged thereon. The damaged goods can be auctioned by the custom officer to recover the balance dues. It also means that if the damage happened in the custody of the custodian, who may be the port in case of bills of entries under home consumption, or the warehouse keeper in case the goods are lying in a warehouse, that person would be liable for payment of customs duty on the damaged portion. Section 23 talks about remission of duty on lost, destroyed or abandoned goods. What is remission of duty? Remission would be taking back. Here it says that in case duty has been paid on goods that are lost, they are destroyed or abandoned before customs out of charge, then the person who has paid the duty would be entitled to get the duty back. The only rider over here is that in case an importer relinquishes title of the goods, that is, he abandons the goods at any point of time while he is not liable to customs duty, in case any offence has been committed under the Customs Act or for under any other act for the time being in force, then he will be liable to action under those sections, but he shall not be liable to payment of duty. So that means the duty, as I said right in the beginning, duty in India is on consumption. Whatever material is made available to the importer, he is expected to pay duty only on that much value. The last in this particular segment is section 24. Yes, we do go up to 28, but for certain demarcations, let us understand section 24 over here. Section 24 talks power to make rules for denaturing or mutilation of goods. Here is a case where you have imported material. The material has multiple uses, but you have imported it for a particular purpose. In those cases, section 24 comes into play, and customs will have the right to denature or mutilate the goods so that they become relevant for usage under one heading only. We have a simple case of woolen rags. What is a woolen rag? A woolen rag is primarily a piece of a woolen jacket or a sweater or a scarf or something which cannot be used for a particular purpose, for a purpose of what it was made for originally. That is, a sweater cannot be used as a sweater, or a jacket cannot be used as a jacket, but because in a foreign country it has been removed as scrap, it gets imported into India as woolen rags. Now when they come in the customs and at the time of examination it is found that they are in complete condition, the custom officer may order mutilation, that is, he may order the importer to tell him that please make pieces of this so that they become truly rags in the Indian context, and thereafter the delivery of the goods would be given.
For detailed learning on all logistics subjects, visit www.logiveda.com.